guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sarah. I am a knitter and yarn dyer from the southwest of England, and this is where I share everything I have been knitting and dyeing for the past month or so. If you'd like to follow me on my social medias, I am SarahKnittyB on Instagram, and I do have a Etsy store called KnittyBYarn. Links will be in the description box below, as will all of the patterns that I will be discussing today. I will just apologise about my voice today. If you're new here, I don't normally sound like this. I partook of Bongo's Bingo last night, and if you've never been, I would highly recommend it. It was a fabulous night, lots of singing and dancing as well as bingo, yeah, I probably sang too loud, too much, and my voice is suffering from it today. So excuse me, apologies, and you might need to bear with me. I need to keep taking sips of drink today, so not normally what I would do in a video, but needs must. Plus, it's ridiculously warm outside. If you're outside of the UK, we are having a heat wave. It's been rather warm for the past week to 10 days, and we are due to be getting anywhere between 30 to 40 degree, or sorry, 35 to 40 degree heat over the next couple of days, and we don't have air conditioning, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, so how have you guys been? What have you been working on this past month? Usual YouTubey stuff, like, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. I've actually got 3 finished projects to share with you today, although one of which has been gifted, so I will insert some pictures. And I've also got 2 projects on the go, so 2 whips to share. So the first one I will be sharing with you is it was almost very finished last time we sat down together, and this is the Feels Like Summer Tea by by Becky Clow. Apologies, that's Bruce popping in to say hi there. You're going to say hello to everybody? Do you want to say hi? Oh, so this is Bruce. He wants to go out, but it is rather too warm at the moment. But he doesn't understand that and seems to think that I can control the weather. Don't you, eh? Right, you're going to sit down, be a good boy? There we go. Yeah, that's it. Don't unclothe me. So, yes, sorry. Okay, Bruce is going to be joining us, it seems. And now I've got this up the wrong way. So yes, this is the Feels Like Summer Tea by Becky Clow Designs. I believe this pattern was actually released on the 15th of July. So it's now available for purchase. This little I-cord across the back was an added addition by me, because if you watched my last video, or in fact any of my videos to be fair, you will know that I am not good at working out the size that I need to knit with my chest measurement and the finished sizing. So this was a test knit that I did for Becky, and I went for the 2XL, I think, because yeah, I picked the wrong size, so it kept falling off my shoulders. So I just added this little I-cord, and I even knitted the I-cord too long, so I need to tidy that up. But yes, otherwise this is the finished knit. It's got some lovely lifted increases for the raglan shaping. It's a nice light airy t-shirt with I-cord bind off edgings, rather big sleeves, so yeah, it's a nice little throw on, although I will say at the moment for me it is just too hot to wear. And as I said in my last video, I didn't alternate my skeins, which as a yarn dyer I should know better, but hey, I've got my own striped top. But yeah, so that's the Feels Like Summer Tea. This one, I believe, was knit on 3.5mm needles. And the wool that I used here was one that I'd dyed up myself. It was one that I'd got a bit frustrated because the dye hadn't come out the colour I wanted it to. So I didn't write down the recipe because I ended up just throwing colour at it until I got a colour I liked. But this is a 50-50 merino wool and cotton blend. Yeah, so that's the Feels Like Summer Tea. Go check out Becky Clo's Ravelry store. I'll pop a link in the description below for that one. The next finished item to show is another little child's hat. This is my own pattern. This is the one called the Maximus Beanie, and is available to purchase on Ravelry, Lovecrafts, and my Etsy shop. And this one is knit on 3.25mm needles and is in my colourway Canopy that is available in my store on Etsy. So this was just a nice little fluff palette cleanser for a nice quick easy project, quick finish, just to keep something on the needles before another big project. That's going in my little pile of gifts. That's got an intended recipient, although you know, sometimes when you look at things and you're like, that really isn't going to fit, and then you open it up and actually I think it will fit. Yeah, it should be fine. We'll just stop the child from growing. It'll be absolutely fine and it will fit lovely. So yeah, so that's the Maximus Beanie. It's a nice, it's sized from child up to extra large, I think, or large. But yeah, child and adult sizes. And it has a nice little garter stitch. No, it's not garter. Pearl stitch detail that goes round the hat for a bit of stripes. Gives you something, yeah, it gives you a little bit of interest as a knitter to be changing up your stitches whilst being simple enough that you can just zone out watching TV whilst you're knitting it. So yeah, so that's going into that pile. Sorry, we're rattling through at a speed today. That's probably because of my voice. So the next finished and final finished whip to share with you, or finished object to share with you this month, is another Flax Light that I've knit from Tin Can Knits. The pattern is available as a free download from, I believe, both Ravelry and Tin Can Knits website. They do the Flax Light, which is knit with 4-ply yarn, so finger and weight. And they also do an Aran weight version or worsted weight version as well for a nice quick chunky winter knit as well. And so this one was knit for a birthday present for somebody's 9th birthday, and I'll insert pictures here. This one is, I knit the size 8 to 10-year-old, and this one is knit out of my new colourway that went into my shop this month called Raspberry Revolution. But we'll discuss the wool in a bit when we get on to shop news. So yeah, so as you can see, the recipient was very happy with her birthday present, and modelled it rather nicely, I do believe. So yeah, that's another Flax Light. I think from flaxes, I've probably knit, I think that's like my 8th or 9th. Yeah, that's like my 8th or 9th flax. Really lovely pattern, and it is free. It comes with tutorials as well. The guys there at Tin Can Knit do great patterns, that are so size inclusive that I don't know how they get their head around all the maths. So it's sized from babies all the way up to 4 or 5XL adult size. You can do a cropped version, you can do a standard length version. It's got the lovely detail down the arm with the, and that one is garter stitch going down the sleeves. So that one is yeah, it's a great pattern. If you've not knit it before, highly recommend that one. If it's your first foray into jumper knitting, it's probably one of the best ones to do, just especially if you want to learn top down raglan. So yeah, so that is the last of my finished objects this month. I do have 2 whips to share. I'm normally a monogamous knitter, so if you followed me from the start of my YouTubing journey, I announced on my first video that not only am I a monotonous knitter, but I also don't knit socks. I can knit socks, I just don't like knitting socks. So yeah, so I've tried to see if I can do more than one project at a time and keep working on both of them. I don't think I have achieved the working on both of them throughout the month very well. Yeah, well, let me show you what I've been working on. So last month I talked about the fact that I was just going to use up all my ends, partial balls of fingering weight to create, do not fall off my lap, I don't want to pick you all up, to create a mitered square blanket. It's not really much of a blanket at the moment. I've got, what's that, 16 squares done at the moment. Well, not even 16 full squares, this one's halfway through, so 15 and a half squares. It will make a nice, I don't know, yeah, like lap blanket or nice baby sized blanket when it's finished. And this is just literally using odds and ends and bits I've got partial skeins thereof. So I started making good progress on this. I've even, check me out, sewn in some of my ends, some of them not though. So yeah, so I had been I'd done quite well. I thought, oh yes, new fun, nice, quick and easy. And then I stopped because I was working on the hat and working on the jumper. And so I think in the past 2, maybe 3 weeks, I have probably only knit this partially done square. So yeah, I'm not really doing very good at doing the whole knitting on 2 different things at the same time. But then again, with the heat we're going to be having over the next few days, it might be something where I do a couple of rows or a square before I get too hot and hands are too hot and sticky to be playing with this one. But I'm knitting this on, what size are these? My 3.25 or US size 3 Chalgu needles, and I've got a little stitch marker there from the Corner of Craft. I think he's a panda wearing a hat, but I like him, and I like the fact I love the, I think, what does she call them? I think she calls them fixings. I like the fact that the stitch marker is a thin, you can't really see it very well, it's a nice thin metal clasp that locks on, so you're not creating too much of a chunky gap between stitches. Makes it really flexible to use as a stitch marker or progress keeper. So yeah, so that's where I've got to on that. Hopefully next time I see you I will have at least finished this one square. But the other thing that I am, pop that aside there. The other thing that I am working on is another woolly badger pattern. It seems that I like all her tops. So the woolly badger has just recently released her Rejiggerate tee, and given how much I loved her Summer Down and Day Off Badge tee, which I do want to knit another one of, I was like, I have to go and get myself this pattern. So it's a bottom-up construction, and you can tell that it's definitely a work in progress because it's all rolling up. There are lace panels and short row shaping, and once you get past the beginning bit, I think I'm just on the last bit of short row shaping to get this all back up and level, and then it's knit in stripes, alternating your main colour and your contrast colour. So here I have got my contrast colour, which is my grey. That is Silver Linings, which is available on my store, on the Etsy shop, and that is, what wool blend was that? I think that might just be 100% merino, or it could be the one that had a bit of silk in it. And then the green that I'm doing is just a green. I've not released it in the store. If you like it, and if you would be interested, you know, if this is a shade of green that you would enjoy and want me to pop in the shop, then do please let me know in the comments down below, and I can certainly recreate that and put it in my store. But yeah, and that's the green is the main colour, and this is the 75-25 merino nylon blend that I've got, and it's a nice high twist as well, so it gives a lovely definition on your stitches, and it also picks up colour beautifully. So yeah, so this one I've not got too far, and I keep getting myself in a tangle with my ends, but yeah, so this is the Rejiggerate tee by the Woolly Badger. I believe she released this on the 7th of July, and she's also, I believe, for this weekend got a discount on some of her patterns. So go check her out on Ravelry and Payhip. She is the Woolly Badger on Instagram as well, and I believe if you sign up to her newsletter, you get the discount, 25% off, that she's doing this weekend. I love the way she writes patterns. They're nice and simple to follow. They're nice. They're nice designs, nice easy to wear clothes, with different bits of interest, whether it be a slightly different construction, or it's lace panels, or in this case lace and stripes and short rows. She also does sock patterns and colour work jumpers and things. Again, some of her patterns are sized for both children and adults. This, I believe, is just sized for adults, this top. I will put a picture in here of how it's supposed to look when completed, and I'm sure she won't mind me taking her picture of her pattern to pop in here. So that is Jackie from the Woolly Badger. She is the Woolly Badger, so that's Jackie the Woolly Badger. She is a UK based designer. I believe she's based down in Bristol, and she does workshops and online tutorials, online workshops and things, so she is certainly worth checking out. So yeah, that's what I have been knitting on this past month. So yeah, I feel I've been productive. Probably should have made a bit more work on the what's going to be a blanket. There's currently 1.5 stripes. But yeah, so that's, I'm learning to be something other than a monogamous knitter. In shop news, my latest colourway that went in this month is the Raspberry Revolution. So it's a pinky red wool with some navy purpley patches on it, and so that is what knit up into the jumper that I gifted. Looks like this one balled up. You can't really see very much of the bluey purpley, so it is an overall pinky red shade. This is available in my Etsy store and is available on 4-ply fingering, 75/25 merino nylon, 75/25 BFL nylon, and I think I've also got it listed for DK weight merino as well. If you do want it in other weights and blends, then do please let me know. One thing to mention, anything that I do have listed in my Etsy store, if you like the colour but it's not listed on a blend that you like, or a weight of yarn that you like, so if I've got something that's only listed in DK and Aran but you want it in fingering, please message me, reach out. I'm more than happy to dye it up on a different blend or a different weight of yarn. Don't feel constrained by the listings in the store for weights and blends. If I've got it, then absolutely, I'm more than happy to dye that up for you. Sorry, one moment, just need to take a quick drink. The other thing to mention with regards to shop news is that by the time of my next podcast, my Etsy store will have turned 1 year old. It will celebrate its 1-year birthday. So to all of my viewers here, I would like to give a discount code where you can celebrate the store's birthday party with me. It will get you 15% off of everything except for pattern listings and the dog jumpers. But yeah, you get 15% off, and you just use the code HAPPYBDAY, and that will get you 15% off everything in the Etsy store, bar those 2 exceptions there. I don't know if I can do a sale on my Ravelry patterns. I might also put a sale on my Ravelry patterns. If I have done so by the time this video I've edited this video and it goes out, then there will be a little linky thingy doodah here just to say yes, there is a discount in my Ravelry store for those patterns. So I think I forgot to mention it at the start of this episode. I'm also SarahKnittyB on Ravelry as well, if you want to get either of my hat patterns on there. I haven't done any designing the past couple of months. I have got so many ideas in my head and just no time to do them. We've been very busy in at my day job because I have one of those as well, so much so that I haven't got the brain space to sit and calculate things, because I also have in my head a massive long list of knitting projects I want to get done. So I want to, there's a couple more people I'd like to knit some more Flax Light jumpers for, and I want to dye up some yarn for 2 projects that are going to be gifts ready for Christmas. I was going to film and share the dyeing process of this yarn with you until it turns out that I had a whole long conversation about setting up my dye tray, the fact that I was going to do a cool vat technique to get a more solid base colour, talked all about what you need to do when you dye yarn, and I'd forgotten to press play or record, should I say. So with the first lot of, the basis of what I was aiming for and the techniques that I was using, having not filmed any of that, I decided not to film it and pick up and go, oh look, I've forgotten to do this. So what I am hoping to do over the next 4 to 6 weeks is have a massive dye up of a load of yarn that I want to dye with projects in mind, and I'd like to take you on the journey of those with me. So I will aim to record this time the dyeing process, what I'm aiming for, what the project it's in what project I'm aiming for that to be for, and then hopefully I can do a whole dye to knit video where you see how I've dyed it, progress of knitting, finished item before it gets gifted at Christmas time. The dyeing will take place in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and I'll discuss the patterns that I want to dye those for when we get to that. I don't think I can dye up and knit both of those projects in the next 6 weeks, but that should be coming up hopefully within the next few months or so. But I'm certainly going to start with the dyeing, of course. But yeah, so that's what I have been working on. That is what I am planning. Oh, and just to mention, the discount code of Happy B-Day for my Etsy shop will run from the 1st of August through to the 31st of August. So for the whole month of August, you can get 15% off. If you've never visited my shop before, then you automatically, I give free postage and packaging. I've tried to be competitively priced with my yarn. I do appreciate that cost of living at the moment is causing some stretches to budget, so hopefully my birthday celebration will be a helping hand for you. But as I said, link is down below, and the shop is KnittyBYarn on Etsy. But that is going to be it from me for this month. Would love to hear what you guys have been knitting on, so let's have a nice little chat in the comments down below. Any patterns that you have been working on or that you always recommend. One thing I am looking for, if anybody can recommend me a asymmetrical triangular shawl pattern that does not contain brioche, because I hate knitting brioche stitch, please let me know down in the comments below. I've got a few triangular shawls which I love, but I want to do a really big one that basically turns into like a schlanket ready for winter. I know Stephen West has got a lot of patterns that you can do to any size, but he's a sort of chap that tends to have a lot of brioche sections or bobbles, and I'm not really into those. And Andra Mowry also does some fabulous patterns as well, but again, a lot of hers are brioche because she loves that one. So if anybody's got any that they can recommend, please let me know down in the comments below. That would be brilliant. Thank you. But otherwise, stay safe. Have a lovely next month or so. If you're in the UK, try and stay cool. Well, in fact, wherever you are, try and stay cool whilst enjoying your knitting or your crafting. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.